Now, speaking of that, let's start talking about some movies, meaning movie reviews. So, the first movie that I am going to be reviewing today is A Fall from Grace. It is a Netflix movie. It's a Tyler Perry film, put it like that. So, disclaimer, just disclaimer for this. I am not really a Tyler Perry fan. I'm not a huge one. I'm not a casual one. You know, I've watched a lot of his movies. It's just his movies don't grab me as an audience, as a movie lover. You know, some of them were good. Some of them were the only ones that really caught my attention was Acrimony, and I believe Temptation was one of his films. But those are the only movies that really looked appealing to me. Every other film was like, oh, it's a new Tyler Perry movie. Okay, moving on. It was just basically like that. So I'm not going to use this to crap on it. So I just put it out there as a disclaimer. And I checked this movie out when it first came out. This isn't anything that I just seen recently or whatever. I seen this back when it first came out on Netflix. And weirdly enough, back then I didn't even know that it was a Tyler Perry film. I guess I just missed the whole Tyler Perry's A Fall from Grace, because when I watched it, it was just A Fall from Grace, okay, whatever, and all this stuff. That was just a Netflix film until I saw Tyler Perry up in there. And then come to find out a little bit after I got done watching it that it is a film by Tyler Perry. So I'm like, okay, you know. And so in watching it, this movie, it didn't sell me on Tyler Perry. It really didn't. The premise was really good though. It's about a public defender that is given a case that is supposed to be just something quick that she is supposed to handle and then move on to the next one. But upon getting into the case, she realizes there is more to it. And when she starts digging, she finds out that this woman, Grace, who is on trial for murder, may end up being innocent. And so she starts to unravel this mystery involving it. And, you know, that's a pretty good premise. Pretty good. As far as the acting goes, you got Crystal R. Fox, who's playing Grace. She does a really good job as there. Brisha Webb does a good job with playing the main character. Felicia Rashad is up in there. She does a really great job. And Cicely Tyson don't really do too much, but, you know, she's in there. And Tyler Perry did, you know, pretty good. He is a good actor. If he would buckle down and actually do a movie that is Oscar worthy and, you know, actually put a lot into it instead of like just realming us with so many Tyler Perry films that he literally got as many movies as the MCU that he has written, produced, directed, starred in, and everything else. It's crazy. But they all did a good job. The only standout, and not in a good way, is Mehcad Brooks. Man, he's a great actor. I enjoy him in Necessary Roughness that he was up in, and even up in Supergirl. He played Jimmy, you know, and I enjoy his acting. He's a pretty good actor. He could be really, really good. But in this one, he was just kind of like the worst out of the whole bunch. Especially when his character just starts to blow up, and he just didn't work. But this production, learning afterwards that this production was made in 5 days, it was shot in 5 days, it really shows. Because it shows, but it doesn't. It's like, when you find out that it was shot in that limited amount of days, as you're watching it, you can be like, yeah, I could see it being shot in those many days. Because they don't really have too much. I mean, you can see that it's not really that big of a budgeted film. And, of course, people are going to point out, which one of the things that stood out to me was the wigs. The wigs were just off the chain. It's just, I don't know what Tyler Perry was thinking. You got all this money to build this big-ass studio that's bigger than all these other big major companies put together studios. And you can't afford good wigs. I don't know. Like, that just seemed kind of off. But it does, I mean, it's pretty good as far as production goes, as, you know, for the amount of time that it was shot and everything else. But one of the things that Tyler Perry does do in his movies that are just kind of a negative for me is that he goes for those easy to pull at emotional strings. If he wants you to feel angry, he's gonna make a character go so outrageous to where you just go against them. If you want if you want the audience, the audience to feel sadness, he's gonna go for that easy to manipulate type of sadness from a character and stuff. And it's nothing that happens gradually. It's stuff that kind of happens like just right on cue, or I don't know. It just seemed like he a puppet master, and just I don't know. It just doesn't seem like too much thought was brought into trying to bring out these emotions. It doesn't seem like it happens organically. It seems like it just happens sporadically. And if you're a big Tyler Perry fan, you're gonna fall into it, and not really even think really too much of it. And that just, I don't know, like for me, that's just kind of like a negative. I like when stuff happens gradually and organically rather than, just manufactured or whatnot. But yeah, other than that, I mean, the movie is okay. It's not the worst thing, but it's not the best thing. It's not the best thing by a long shot. If you're a big fan of Tyler Perry films, you're more than likely going to like this. Probably not as much as like some of his other films. For me, I like Acrimony way more than I like this film. Way more. But I realize that Tyler Perry has his own niche. And he has his own audience, people that's gonna love his stuff, or be fans of, like, if they see Tyler Perry's blah blah blah, they're gonna watch the sitcom, watch the drama, or watch the movie that comes out, the comedy, blah blah blah. And I'm just not his core audience. I'm not one of his audience members at all. I'll check out the movie, but it's not something that I want to rush to the theaters or pay a rental fee or buy it on digital, Blu-ray, and all that stuff. It's just not that type of seriousness for me. But as far as just an overall movie, he could do better. He could have done way better. The reveal at the end was kind of like, I don't know, by the end of the movie, he just kind of lost me. But for this movie is a miss for me. You really, I mean, if you're a big Tyler Perry fan, check it out. Other than that, this is a movie that you can skip.